A bit over a month ago, I literally got addicted to doing hard stuff, kind of like discipline, doing hard work, studying, all of the things that had previously been hard in my life and that I'd been really been trying to do with a lot of effort and intention just came to me effortlessly. And you might wonder, how did I do this? Well, today I'm going to go about the exact protocol that I used to go from lazy, undisciplined, lost to literally feeling like the harder things is easy. And right now I literally feel like I can do anything. So I have a pretty simple three-step protocol that I'm going to utilize right here. So it all started in like September of 2023 when I wanted to make faster progress in my own self-improvement journey. I started to research discipline and how to actually master your mindset. And since that point, I've put in about like 50 to maybe 100 hours. And this one particular day, I literally decided that today I'm going to literally change my life. And so I did. I went about changing my life gradually but incrementally towards a goal, and that has been the best decision that I ever made. And since that point, I've literally felt a stronger and stronger and stronger pull to actually work hard on my goals. Now, the first thing is pretty simple. So stop overstimulating yourself. And I've written down two things here. First of all, the modern world, and then how to actually do it, an action step. So basically, what I mean by the modern world and how we can actually stop overstimulating ourselves is pretty simple. The modern world has set us all up for distraction and failure. I don't want to seem too pessimistic, but one thing that the modern world is really great at, it is great at trying to captivate our attention in various ways. So for example, the first way that people try to get your attention is through social media, through school. Everybody's trying to steal your attention in some way. So what we simply have to do is we have to retract and simply start to observe that these people are doing these things, and the moment that we decide that I am in control of my own life, I am in control of where I want to go and the destiny that I want to pursue. So the moment that you understand that everybody's trying to steal your attention, and you take a step back and you try not to be pulled too much towards these things, even though there will be days where you don't really feel like doing stuff, where you will be pulled and you will be tempted, it will be a lot easier for you to resist once you know that everybody's trying to take your attention. And I'm not saying this in a negative way, because that means that everybody can garner attention and you can pull your attention into something great. So for example, right now you're funneling into education and learning something. So one thing that you should do is start consuming more educational content and purposefully choosing what you want to program your mind with, because every single thing that you're doing on a day-to-day basis is programming your mind towards something. So for example, if you're working hard, that will program your mind. If you're listening to somebody who makes a lot of excuses, that will program your mind, because our thoughts dictate where we will end up. So how do we actually do this? Well, first of all, you simply need to define this. So what are pulling you and what is programming you on a day-to-day basis? It can be pretty simple. You just have to decide, where do I want to end up? And the moment you do that, it will be pretty simple for you to actually start making even faster progress and gain some results in this. And what you need to do is take a step back from social media, from every single things that are distracting you currently. Now when it comes to the second step, you simply need to utilize something called the internal voice. Your voice inside of your mind and your thoughts. This is simply how we will program ourselves to actually make even faster progress and to make ourselves even more consistent and help us make faster progress and results. So first of all, the internal voice is the voice inside of you that is pulling you towards educating yourself, pulling you towards studying, pulling you towards a purpose, a mission, something that you want to do in order for you to improve your own mindset and your own belief system and all of these types of things. The internal voice is what causes action and what creates a strong sense of mission and purpose. And how do we actually use this? Well, we program our thoughts towards gaining a specific goal. So how do we program our thoughts? We simply manually start to implement thoughts of the person that we want to become. So for example, if you wanted to become a top student, you would literally think as the top student. You would think to yourself, okay, so I am the top student now. What does the top student think? Okay, so I've got an essay on Friday. I'm starting to write and get an outline of how I can literally accomplish this assignment or whatever. You simply need to start programming your mind and programming your subconscious into this. And how you actually implement these things is pretty simple. You just need to start thinking like the person you want to end up as. So for example, one thing that I like to do is simply just take a few moments when you're going to school or you're commuting or you're on your bike or whatever. Just take a few minutes to think to yourself, what is an intention that I can set for myself, and what are some words of encouragement that I can give to myself so that I will take even more action. And this is simply how we start to revoke that internal voice, that inner child, that person who can literally accomplish anything. And this is how we also change our belief system about ourselves. We start to rewake this internal voice. And once we do that, we will literally become unstoppable. So, another thing that I wrote, how do we even wake this up even more? We need to spend some time with ourselves. Solitude, I've actually written here. Simply spend some time reflecting and thinking, and you don't necessarily need to stare into a wall. One thing that I like to do is just go out on a walk and just think to yourself, where do I want to end up? If you have if you have a person who you can literally trust with this, and you think to yourself, I want to talk about someone, and you start to put your vision into words and you speak it, you have the courage to speak it, you will literally start dictating the reality. Because once you've spoken something and said you want to do something to another person, you create a completely new layer of accountability for yourself. And speaking about accountability, if you want to fast track your progress when it comes to this journey, just click the link in the description, have a look at what I do and my mission, and I will personally help you out. So, what you simply need to do is start by spending some time in solitude and asking yourself, how can I revoke this internal voice? Another thing that you can do to fast track this and simply give more space to that internal voice is pretty simple. You just need to start playing more. And what I mean by play is not play video games, not taking things seriously, but being serious, but deliberately trying to de-stress, trying to relax. Because if you're watching this type of video, you're probably the person who have ambitions, you have goals, you have dreams, you have things that you want to end up, but you simply are taking things a little bit too serious sometimes. The moments where you just kind of like let your body move, and you know what is great for you, and you literally just engage yourself in the present activity. Those are the moments where you literally make progress, where you become a person that you've always wanted to be, and you're in this flow state. And that's what I'm saying. Start playing life, have some fun. Because we only get one shot at this, so why not have fun whilst we're pursuing mastery, whilst we're trying to get into our dreams and accomplish our goals? Because not many people are actually realizing this. But if you are, then why not enjoy the process of getting there? Because so many people live their lives on external rewards and people's ambitions. And I did for a very, very long time. But once I started to diminish that purpose layer of mine, that I wanted to please everybody else, my life slowly started to shift. But it's gonna take some time, it's going to take some deliberate practice. And start observing your own thoughts. What am I thinking about on a day-to-day basis? That's how you literally start to turn that internal voice into action. And that's simply how I did it. Now when it comes to the third principle, you simply need to persist and stay in with patience. Patience is one of the best skills on earth, because the man who enjoys walking will walk so much further than the man who enjoys the destination. If you want to get to a B point, for example, you want to get the highest grade on an exam, or the highest grade in the school, or you want to make X amount of money. The person who's just thinking about the results will not get there as fast as the person who's kind of like, I just enjoy studying, I just enjoy driving this car, I just enjoy recording YouTube videos. That's the person who will literally get there, because that person is simply not chasing the outcome. They just enjoy the they just enjoy the walk and the process of getting better every single day. And that's what I try to implement in my own life. And how do we actually do this? Because a lot of people say that you should do this. But you need to create such a strong foundation when it comes to your goals. And that will only come from mastering your mindset and your discipline. And how do we do this? Well, You take it gradually but incrementally. Start by making your bed, having a few things, starting to organize your life a little bit, and then you can start making even faster progress about this. If you're actually serious about this and want even a faster blueprint, just check out the link in the description. That's kind of like the only thing I have to fast track your journey. So simply but incrementally start with something, then you move on to another thing that is gradually harder, but start very, very small, because in the beginning it will be hard, it will be difficult, but the more you master this, the more you will elevate your own progress and become the person who you've always wanted to be. And this is simply how I've made the most progress in my life. You simply need to lower your ego to the point that you will do something. Now, the time factor is another thing. Just imagine in 3 years where you will be if you just keep on gradually overloading pain, suffering, just improving yourself in all areas of life. You will literally be the type of person who can tolerate anything. You will have such a strong mindset because you've probably not been on this journey for like 10 years or even 3 years or even a year. You can literally accomplish anything, because I've only done this since like 2023 in September. It's not even 2 years. And if you just look at my first ever video, how shit I was at talking at camera, that's a perfect example, because I literally just picked something that I wanted to stick to and I simply did it. And you simply just need to gradually over time increase it, because there's no rush. There is no rush. So just enjoy the process, and what you simply need to do is just imagine yourself in 5, 10, 8 years, 3 years. Imagine where you will become, because you've probably been interested in this for quite some time, and this is literally how to make the fastest progress of your life. But this is simply how to make hard things easy, how to crave doing hard work. All of these types of things just come from revoking that inner voice, taking a step back from the modern world, and simply persisting and staying in with patience. So this is simply just a scrappy piece of paper that I have utilized to just create a very, very fast script, so that you can understand how to actually gain some momentum again in your life. And it's going to take some time, because it took me almost a year for me to be able to like master YouTube to the point where I was actually motivated to do it, to feel literally like I was on track with something. I really, really do hope that you got some value out of this video, and I'll see you in the next one.